Sometimes life is just one big struggle. I'm gonna tell you a little story about myself. Because my life is stormy sometimes, it makes you wonder how I keep avoiding thunder. My life is stormy sometimes, it makes you wonder how I keep avoiding thunder.
Hello, psychos and patients. I know it's been a while, but I am back and I am better than ever. Today, I'm going to talk about a very serious subject, mental illness, but specifically depression. The reason why I decided to bring this up is because recently, Chester Bennington of Linkin Park committed suicide by hanging. Every year, it seems we keep losing some talented musician to suicide. So, I'm going to touch on a couple things. First, I'm going to touch on the people saying that he was selfish for killing himself and having 6 kids. Obviously, the people saying this, there's only 2 kinds. 1, they never had depression, or 2, they're on the verge of doing the same exact thing. Here's why. Let's go with number 1. It's easy to say what someone is or isn't if you've never been through it yourself. There's a lot of people out there that can handle trauma very well, and there's some people that can't handle trauma well. I find it interesting that it doesn't make a difference that either side we'll try to find a way to talk about this. Let's go with the people that can handle trauma well. It's nice that you can handle trauma well. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, maybe you need some clarification of exactly what depression does to the brain. So speaking from experience, when you're depressed, your natural cravings begin to change. For some people, they become more hungry, more thirsty, and they'll eat more, and that's why some people gain weight when they're depressed. On the flip side, that I personally experienced, you don't crave anything. You don't want to eat, you don't want to drink, you don't want to go outside. On both sides, you're demotivated. When you become demotivated and you're not eating, this starts to have a chemical reaction on your brain. So imagine your brain as a highway. When you become depressed, that highway starts to get blocked. So as each road becomes more blocked, your brain doesn't function the same way that it normally would. This is why this should be taken very seriously. So as these blocks keep happening, you don't think rationally. So imagine on top of that, there was a cause to this depression. For some people, or most people, it's a traumatic experience. A bad breakup, a family member died. Now, after seeing this, and registering it, and having your body shut down, you try to go about your day. Most depressed people try to fight it, they really do. They should be commended for it. But the problem is a lot of them don't know how to ask for help. And this is where shit gets worse. So in the cases of a personal friend I had that committed suicide, they got raped. Now, she didn't tell anybody that she got raped, which, no matter what side you look at it, you could say it's her fault, go ahead. Sometimes it's that simple for you, the viewer, to say, it's your fault, even if you don't know the circumstances. Fine. Usually, when rape occurs to a lot of young women, they are teenagers or very young ages. So imagine at 13 or 14 years old, your brain isn't fully developed. So you're not going to be able to handle certain traumatic events as an adult would. After that happens, your brain starts shutting down. In her case, she didn't want to tell anyone because she was afraid of getting shamed, and that's a whole nother subject. But she was afraid of getting shamed. So she goes about her life, and everybody finds out about the situation. What do you think happened? They shamed her. This guy was pretty popular and cool, so everybody said that she probably had sex with him and just acted a certain way. So I'm not going to get into the politics of that situation. Let's just focus on the topic here. So after hearing that, and you're already depressed, what do you think that does to you? Your brain works on overtime when you're depressed. You think. And that's like a natural instinct. You're overthinking. You're trying to get out of depression. That's the sad part. But she just kept overthinking the situation. Then, her home life wasn't so great either. When her parents found out, they weren't of much help either. The mother wasn't empathetic to her, and the father was calling her a slut. And yes, this is a true story. After that happened, 3 days later, she was found dead in her room. Now, I'm sure some people could relate to that and they had the strength to pull out of it. Congratulations. But imagine that. Something traumatic happens, a person's brain just starts to build all these blocks. Then they're overthinking everything. Now, is that really their fault? I have a surprise for you. It might not be. Was it the right way to respond? No. But a depressed person doesn't really think rationally. If your brain is getting blocked, and then you're also not giving it any nutrients, how the fuck are you supposed to know what to do in the situation? That's what I want the first group of people to think about. Now, the second group of people, this is what this video is really about. I took some time before I made this because I wanted to make sure that my research was good. I watched a lot of you post all these memes about Chester making fun of him, using the song lyrics saying, in the end, you didn't matter, and a whole bunch of horrible shit. If you want to see it, just go on Reddit. Matter of fact, just share this video on Reddit. I'm sure most of this is going to apply to these people on there. So you're sharing all these horrible things. And I decided to pick 10 people on my page that did this. And I decided to look through some friends, Facebook friends, and see. And I noticed a pattern. A lot of people doing these shit posts, as some like to call them, they are depressed as fuck themselves. One had a poem talking about he doesn't even know why he wants to live anymore. These are the steps right before someone fucking kills themselves. And this is very serious. Some of you might laugh when I say this and think I'm just trolling them, but I'm not. I'm being very serious. Half of these people shit posting, a lot of the time, they're on the verge of doing the same exact fucking thing. I don't understand. How do you post in the end it doesn't even matter meme about a guy who hung himself and you're making fun of him because he left 6 kids behind? But you have a kid that wants to see you and you don't want to see him because you're mentally fucked up. And that is just one person's situation. When they see this, they know who they are. If you have a friend that does this, seek some help for them. Call a hotline, talk to them, make sure they get outside, do whatever you can. Because everybody likes to mourn you when you're dead, but no one seems to give a fuck when you're alive. I apologize again for the tone of this video, but this is a really serious matter. These people trolling aren't heartless as you would like to think they are. A lot of them, like I said, are on the edge of doing this shit themselves. So monitor them. They have symptoms of major depression. A lot of them stay home. They're not motivated to do anything but be on social media all day making fun of people. Read their other posts when shit gets real for them. Read how sad they are. Some of them already attempted suicide. Then there's others that's just on drugs. And then drugs on top of suicide fucks you up even more. You already have all the neural pathways blocked to your fucking head, and then on top of that, you're taking drugs, which when you sum up most of them, affect the pleasure centers of your brain. So what happens when you're fucking depressed, your brain is blocked, then whatever the circumstances, you decide to take drugs. Do you understand how dangerous that is? You're depressed, your brain is not working the same way, and the only pleasure you get are from drugs with numerous side effects that not only fuck up your body, they fuck up your mind. You're not yourself when you do this. So all of you that have friends that are sharing all these fucked up memes and fucked up statuses, and I mean they go out of their way to do this, understand that your friend might be chronically depressed. They may not be aware of it, and that's usually the case, but they are chronically depressed. Do you know how sad you have to be suffering on the inside and to get pleasure from someone else's suffering? You have to be pretty fucked in the head to do that. If you take this as shaming, so be it, but I'm not shaming you. I'm just bringing awareness to the problem because people don't think about this shit. Again, don't wait till they fucking kill themselves. Don't wait till they get to the point of no return. Don't wait till they escape and you felt that maybe there was a way this whole thing could have been prevented. Now, I'm gonna talk briefly about 13 Reasons Why and why I had a huge fucking problem with it. If you didn't see it yet, and this is a spoiler, I don't apologize. So this Hannah girl throughout the series, she goes through horrible shit. And it really is horrible shit for the show. She got raped, she got bullied, and all these things happened back to back. My problem was that the series, in a sense, tried to glorify her suicide. May not have been their intention, but that's what they did. Why? When Hannah tried to reach out to people, it was just for attention. There was a guy that would have gladly helped her. And what did she do? She stopped him in the middle of sex, which that's not a crime at all. It really isn't a crime at all. That's okay. But then she was pissed because he didn't turn around and just start having sex with her. But then she ended up getting raped anyway. Not by him, but by another individual. And that's when she said her soul died. Understandably. Then right before she kills herself, she goes to the guidance counselor. When she narrates herself, she was hoping that when she ran out of his office that he chased her so she could tell him her story. And they made it seem like the guidance counselor didn't care about her or he didn't give a shit about her well-being. The sad part is he did, but she didn't give him a chance to do it. My overall problem with the show is that she was just trying to get attention. All her suicide was about was a lack of attention. And there's a difference between someone who needs help and they're struggling and someone who just wants attention. When you want that much attention, it becomes narcissism. But I have faith that most of these people that get to this point, it wasn't for attention. And to those of you who think that people could just easily escape from this shit is genetic. I'm gonna post a video in the links below, but in your DNA, you could have a short or long particular strand that affects your chances of getting a mental illness such as depression and the rest of the ones that exist. So people who have 2 short strands, they're the most fucked when it comes to handling trauma. People with the 2 long strands, these are the people I was talking about at the beginning. These are the ones that even if they had trauma, they handled it very well and they didn't let it drag them down to like such a severe point. I'm focusing more on depression because depression is the disease. Suicide's the result of when all rationality was lost for a person. And we don't want to glorify that shit. We need to pay attention to mental illness in general. Not just use it as an excuse in the court system to get a serial killer off. Or to make a joke saying you have OCD or ADD or ADHD. So seriously, let's stop fucking mourning and let's start supporting. Now quickly before I end this video, I'm gonna go through some more symptoms of a depressed person. If you notice they don't go out much anymore and they used to go out a lot, pay attention, that may be a sign. If you notice they're not motivated to do anything, that is also a sign. If you notice they don't eat, they're more quiet, they don't speak as much, all of those things are signs. And I'm going to post as many links as I can in the description so you guys can stay informed. But that's all for now. Next episode, back to regular scheduled programming.
Sometimes life is just one big struggle. I'm gonna tell you a little story about myself. Because my life is stormy sometimes, it makes you wonder how I keep avoiding thunder. My life is stormy sometimes, it makes you wonder how I keep avoiding thunder. I remember the piece of me that was free, the kid that once was a chaser of his dreams. His dreams fell and never were achieved. He grew up and lost his reason to believe. Went to college was all he could be. Graduated and fell to defeat. Minimum wage in his life on repeat. He found his voice but through songs he could speak. Attain knowledge to a crowd he could reach. Economy has changed but he brings on the leash. His mentality is that of the beast. This is a story of all becoming me. My life is stormy sometimes, it makes me wonder how I keep stormy sometimes. It makes you wonder how I keep